and welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host. My guest this evening is Beth Schluger from the Hartford Marathon Foundation. Welcome, Beth. How are you?
Good, Pete.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself. And from what I understand, by doing a little bit of research before, you actually started the foundation?
That's correct.
So tell us a little bit about yourself,
Sure.
and we'll talk about the foundation and how long you guys have been in existence and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, well, the foundation's been around for 23 years. I'm its founder.
Okay.
I created it with the first event in 1994. Mm-hmm. And that was the Hartford Marathon.
Okay.
That was the first event that we did. And people would say smarter people would never attempt what I've attempted. Mm-hmm. I had a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old at home, but decided that what I really needed to do, because I didn't have enough to do on my plate, is create a marathon that would have the 26.2 mile marathon go in one direction.
Yep.
Have a half marathon go off at the same time, but go in a different direction.
Okay.
Then also put a 5K on at the same time, going in a third direction, and then a team relay that would then do the marathon route, but split it up into 5 legs and bus them to all these different legs. So
how did you do that?
Well, as they said, smarter people would not attempt these things. But the result, I'm still sitting here 23 years later.
Exactly.
I'm still having a great deal of fun doing what I do. And
Good.
the organization has grown tremendously. It has 18 employees now.
All right.
We are a not-for-profit.
Really?
Everything we do is to benefit health and fitness in communities. Mm-hmm. When we can, we benefit other charitable organizations. We are a charitable organization ourselves, but when there's more to give away, we certainly include local charities and communities.
Okay.
And we now do 30 events a year all over Connecticut and in Rhode Island.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, you guys are the striving force behind the Hartford Marathon. How much fun is that to put together every year? Or is it sort of...
Fun is an interesting way to describe it.
Right.
It is fun. It is. We are a team of people, and it's not just the staff, but we have a team of dedicated year-round volunteers, and there's about 75 people on that team called the Collar Crew.
Okay.
And they're called the Collar Crew because they get a shirt with a collar instead of a shirt without a collar.
Okay.
And then backing them up on race weekend is 2,500 more volunteers. So,
oh my goodness.
In staging that, we deal with a tremendous amount of aspects for that. It's not only volunteer management and course management, but we have 15 to 16,000 runners come out for that. So every single thing we do, every decision we make is impacted by how we are going to communicate that to the 20,000 people involved in the race between running and volunteering. Okay. How those people will move should we decide to, let's say, relocate a bank of portalets. Yep. We have to think how all 20,000 of those people might have to rotate and move through the community to use those portalets. Mm-hmm. We have lots of parking logistics to plan. Yep. We have safety and security is my number one emphasis that I spend my time on now, especially since 2013 and the Boston Marathon bombing. Mm-hmm. I spend a lot of time on risk management, safety, security. So it's a complicated machine that is well orchestrated by a very finely tuned orchestra, and it has tremendous impact for the community.
What is that impact for the community?
Well, just last year it was $14.3 million in economic impact. Wow. And plus charity, runners raise money for charity at the marathon. And last year was about $500,000 raised for charity. Wow. That runners raise themselves and give to the charities. So we're an important event in the community, in the state of Connecticut. Yeah. It garners over $1 million in media attention every year.
Yeah.
So, very worthwhile endeavor for it.
Excellent.
And don't let me neglect to say that the heavy lifting of support comes from Eversource.
Yep.
And they're a tremendous partner to us,
Sure.
both volunteer-wise,
Yep.
lots of employees that volunteer, certainly financial, and other ways of support that they can give us.
Now, from what I understand, you guys have an event coming up in my local viewing and listening area, I believe, fairly soon.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Sure. We have a race called the ONiantic 5K.
Okay.
We've been doing it, I think, for maybe a dozen years, maybe. I think it's about 12 years we've been doing it. And we'll have, 1,500 people. So that's a lot of people in downtown Niantic.
Holy cow.
Yeah. We do a series in March. That's how we kick off the season.
Yup.
And we do a race called the Courthouse Putnam race in
I believe
in
that was
Putnam.
recently.
That was last Sunday. And that is supported by Courthouse Bar and Grill, which is the great restaurant right on Main Street. We had 1,400 people at that on Sunday. It was a glorious day.
Wow.
Everyone dressed in green and costumes. It's a very big family event. Lots of kids running.
Very nice.
And then Sunday is the ONiantic race. And
Okay.
then on Saturday. And on Sunday is the O Hartford race. And that will have 3,000 people at it. So, and if you do all three of those, and we call them the Trinity Series.
I think I heard you say this on another media outlet over the weekend.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
You get a finisher medal at each one, but they can be put together to form the Irish flag when you finish all three events, with the Irish blessing spelled out across all three medals. That's called the Trinity Series. So a lot of people, we have about 400 or 500 people that do the series because I think which is our mission, keep you healthy and fit.
Oh,
keep
totally.
you wanting to be healthy and fit.
Exactly.
And if we can give you more goals, more nuggets, more carrots out there to get you to
run around
fit,
and
that's right. We are achieving our goal.
exactly.
So, yeah.
So what you said before, you guys do about 30 events a year. What are some of the other notable events that you have that cover our area?
Oh, we have a wonderful, exciting triathlon, which is a swim followed by a bike, followed by a run, in Niantic at McCook's Beach, right off of in Niantic Bay. The swim goes off in Niantic Bay, and if you've never seen a triathlon, it's a really wonderful event to be a spectator at.
Okay.
Because we have 600 people in the event, and we put them all in the water at the same time. So it's 600 people splashing around in Niantic Bay.
All right.
And doing a half-mile swim.
Yep.
And then they jump on their bikes, and they do about a 12-mile bike ride through East Lyme, Niantic. And then they do a 3.5-mile run through the beach community in Niantic.
Very nice.
Very well supported in the community. We do a race in Higganum with the Youth Services group from Higganum, Killingsworth.
Yeah.
And that's in October.
All right.
We do a couple of races in Middletown, one coming up April 3rd.
Okay. Yeah.
The Harvard Pilgrim Middletown Half Marathon and Legends 4 Mile. So it's a half marathon and a 4 mile.
All right. Half marathon is
13.1 miles.
Thank you. I was going to say, because I think a full marathon is 26.2.
Correct.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Very good.
I was going to say.
Good math
I'm
there.
like,
good
I think
math.
I knew that, but I wasn't. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I think I knew that, but I really wasn't sure. It's like, questioning myself.
So that's a challenging event. It's early in the season, and a half marathon in Middletown can be a rather hilly, event. What's interesting this year about that, every year we bring in a sports legend. Usually it's a running legend.
Okay.
To be recognized and have people meet and greet. And we decided to go outside the box this year, and we're bringing in the original captain of the Jamaican bobsled team from the 1988 to 1996 Olympics, Devin Harris.
No.
From Kingston, Jamaica. and fascinating. He
Really?
and his team are what inspired the movie Cool Runnings,
Yes,
the
yes.
Disney movie. So
I've seen
the
that movie a
captain
couple
is
times,
coming- yeah.
actually.
So
Really?
yeah,
Cool.
just a legend in sport that achieved great things despite what he might have thought he was going to achieve in the early life in Kingston, Jamaica.
Very nice. So tell us a little bit about the race in Middletown. Where, again, what time, where?
We start and finish right on Main Street
Okay.
in Middletown.
All right.
At Union Green, around the Union Green
Sure.
area. The half and the 4 mile go off together, and then they split off.
And they split, okay.
Right, and the 4 mile it's a one big 4 mile loop. It comes back.
Sure.
The half marathon stays with the 4 mile for their first loop, and then they go off and do the Wesleyan Hills for the last 8 miles or so. And we say hammer the hills at the Middletown half.
But that hill is no fun.
Yeah.
I've walked up that hill many times.
There's a couple challenging hills, but it's a great course to challenge.
Right.
We also have a wonderful kids race, which we do at almost every event we have.
Okay.
We have HMF Fit Kids. We put on quarter mile, half mile, and 1 mile races for kids ages 2 to 11. And they all get finisher medals. They get superhero capes to wear for the race, and trying to get them out there enjoying running and fitness and starting at an early age.
One of the questions that I didn't ask, and I'll ask it now, and I'm sure I'll ask it again later. How did the idea of the Hartford Marathon Foundation come about?
In 1990, I was the director of a national triathlon series.
All right.
And it came into Hartford, and it was and I'm from the Hartford area originally. It was wonderful to have. We had 1,500 athletes in the event in Hartford in the middle of August. And we did that for 2 years. The amount of impact, the economic impact on the city of bringing 1,500 healthy, fit people to downtown Hartford was life-changing for me, to see that kind of audience in Hartford and see the impact they would make on the city. So the company that owned this series went out of business, but I wanted to continue something.
All right.
And I decided the public really didn't understand in 1990 or 92 what a triathlon was. It was a little early in the life of triathlon. So I decided rather than attempt a triathlon, I would create a marathon.
There you go.
And that's how it got started.
There you go. Would you mind? We're about to go into a break. Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure.
All
sure,
right.
Sure.
We'll be right back.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Beth Sluger from the Hartford Marathon Foundation, he tries to say. Beth, welcome back. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
Good. Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah.
So you and I were talking in the break. I guess you do something with Sandy Hook?
Well, we did.
All right.
We did.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a remarkable event. When some local residents of Newtown approached me a couple days after the tragedy in Sandy Hook,
Right.
and asked me if I would put on a road race. And me, like everybody else in the nation,
Right.
wanted to do anything to help or whatever we could do. So I agreed to put on a road race.
Okay.
I also agreed to give every single penny that came in for registration to
Really?
the Sandy Hook School Support Fund, which was the fund at that time set up quickly by United Way of Western Connecticut to raise
Sure.
funds for the community.
Okay.
And the result of that decision was I made the decision so quickly and so emotionally that I then had to go to my board of directors and beg forgiveness for making that
For
decision.
making the call.
Because what happened was I ended up putting on a race,
Yeah.
not I, but we, the Hartford Marathon Foundation, put on a race that drew 20,000 people. We raised
20,000 people?
We raised $475,000 that we donated to Sandy Hook. But with that, I had to put a race on for 20,000. Actually, we had 15,000 people at the race.
Okay.
When it got to 15,000, we said we cannot take any more people. We
Right.
can't physically get any more people into the city of Hartford within that period of time
Right.
and run you on the streets.
Right.
But please keep sending us your money
Okay.
and run in your own neighborhoods, and we'll send you a T-shirt.
All right.
We had 5,000 people who did that. So we had 20,000 people who contributed their money.
Oh my God.
So we had to purchase T-shirts. We had to hire police officers.
Yeah.
We had to time these people. We had staging equipment. Anyway, we had $450,000 in expenses that I had donated the money that would have paid for that out. So we started going to our vendors,
Yep.
our sponsors, and asked for help. And I'm so proud to say that every single penny of that money that we needed, every service we needed, was
Yep.
donated to us, including the mom
Excellent.
and pop operations like our timing company, which is owned by a wonderful man and woman in Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's a family business.
All right.
They donated the timing for these 15,000 people in
Wow.
downtown Hartford. T-shirts were donated to us by Reebok. Aetna, we put on a breakfast before the event, a wonderful breakfast for all first responders in Connecticut who wanted to come.
Sure.
And we had 500 attend the breakfast. Aetna gave us the space and the breakfast. They gave us everything
Good for
it.
them.
So the point is, we got tremendous donations. No one said no. Everyone said yes, of course, plus what else do you need that we can help with?
Right.
And we were able to give every penny to Sandy Hook. It became the largest single donation they received in the community. And that race became the largest inaugural 5K road race in the world.
Really? And I'm assuming we still do the race too this.
The race is, we did that as a one and done.
Okay.
One and done.
All right.
And it was taken over by the local community.
Okay.
It's now, I think it's around this time of year, and it's held out, I think, in Newtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say one thing we didn't talk about, but let's talk about it now. As far as the organization goes, as far as like your website goes, what if people want to log on to the website? What types of information can they find on the website?
Well, I would say they can find too much information on our website, as my poor webmaster who has to manage all of this information on there. But
Oh, no.
every single event is up there. All the information about the event, you can register online.
Okay.
We prefer you register online.
Right, yeah.
And that's all there. There's course maps up there. There's photographs. There's great videos of past races and race results of past races. Everything you need to know about if you're interested in a race, if you want to volunteer especially. Volunteers are the lifeblood of the organization.
That's actually one thing we didn't talk about,
Right.
but let's talk about that now.
Right.
How important is it
You
for
can't do
you to
these
get your
events.
volunteers?
You can't stage these events. Imagine as the Eversource Hartford Marathon as an example. It requires 2,500 volunteers.
Right.
If you couldn't pay people, you wouldn't have enough money to pay those people. but people love to volunteer
Oh,
for,
yeah.
for our events.
Oh, totally.
It's a really fulfilling experience, and we have hundreds and hundreds of people who come back often throughout the year to volunteer for a race.
Excellent. All right.
Right. And so you can register online to volunteer too.
And if obviously you can't just show up the day of the event and say, hey, I want to help out.
Yeah,
Or can
sure
you?
you can.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sure you can.
All right.
We do prefer you tell us in
That's
advance.
what I
and
was
we
gonna say. You probably-
So we can plan on you, and we know exactly what job we're going to give you, and
Right.
we're all set for you. But you can certainly
You can
show up
show
on
up.
race day if you.
Speaking of race day, you guys are doing something in Niantic, I believe, coming up very soon. Tell us about it.
Right, the ONiantic 5K.
Yes.
Right, is on Sunday. It's one of our great St. Patrick's themed races.
Yeah.
It starts and finishes right in front of Niantic bike shop on
Okay.
Methodist Street.
Okay.
And it'll have about 1,400 people.
Excellent.
And very festive, very family oriented,
Excellent.
fun, great. Post-race party at Smarties after a local restaurant after the event.
Okay.
And it's part of the Trinity series,
I was
so
gonna
you've
say-
got to do it to get the middle piece of your Irish flag medal, and it's just a great event.
I was going to say, we talked about the Trinity during the first half of the show. I was going to say, for those my viewers and listeners just joining us, tell us a little bit about the Trinity and exactly what it is.
Sure, it's our way to encourage you to get out there and get fit early in the season in March, so that we have these 3 5K races, all with an Irish St. Patrick's Day theme, one in Putnam, one in Niantic, and one in Hartford.
Okay.
And if you run them all, they're 5K road races, they're 3.1 miles each,
Okay, sure.
right? You get a finisher medal. The beauty is, if you do them all 3 of them, those three medals go together and form one big medal that is the Irish flag with the Irish blessing on it. And last year's medal was a pot of gold. So you got a gold coin finisher medal at each event, and at the end we gave you a big, beautiful, shiny black pot medal that then
Really?
the
Everything
gold went
in?
into. And so it's a great medal.
Very nice.
Yeah, very good.
Very nice.
Also important to know is
Go
for
it.
all runners and all volunteers to all our events,
Yes.
we collect non-perishable food items for local community food banks.
Excellent.
It's called HMF Can because
Okay.
we think our greatest race is against hunger.
Right.
And our goal this year is 12,000 pounds of food to be collected. We hit our goal last year of 10,000 pounds, so
Really?
we're up in our game.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And that's at every event that you guys do?
Just about. Some events it's not. It's right up on our website if the event is or isn't. But if you bring some items to a race that we're not collecting at, we're certainly
I was gonna say, you'll
going to
still
put it
I
in
was
the
gonna say,
trailer to be delivered with
You'll
the next
accept
batch.
donations still.
Absolutely. It's very, very, very much needed by local food banks, and it's our pleasure to help.
Exactly. Now, what else do we want to tell our viewers and our listeners about the Hartford Marathon Foundation and all the excellent work that you guys do?
Oh, well, there's just something for everyone. There's,
right.
There's things for kids, and we encourage kids. We have a big kids program, both in schools and then at the races that we do. We are very, very welcoming and supporting for beginner runners. We have all sorts of programs for beginner runners. There's training programs that are done with our partner Fleet Feet. There's really well coached, organized training programs. We believe everyone's a runner,
Right.
whether you are walking your route,
Right.
or you're running a 5-minute mile, a 10-minute mile, or you're walking at the end of the route. You are all runners to us. Everyone's a runner because we want everyone to be healthy and fit.
Exactly.
And that's the best way to do it.
Exactly. And I'm sure you've had people come and walk your 5Ks.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, if they don't want to run.
Some of our events, we can't keep a course open for long enough to support walkers, but most of our events were very encouraging for walkers.
Okay.
We also have a big program for disabled athletes, and we encourage wheelchair athletes and physically disabled people.
I was going to say, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have, again, the website's the place to go.
Obviously.
to look at events, and we've determined which events can support wheelchair athletes, and it's really a safety issue.
Right.
If we can't have, wheelchairs going 25 or 30 miles an hour around tight pin turns,
No.
it's not an event for that. But,
Exactly.
but we have many races that are. We are very supportive of disabled athletes and we have guides that work with us, so that if you are a disabled athlete that needs a support system, for example, blind runners need to have guides with them.
Right.
We have guides, volunteers who are guides that will run with a blind runner so
Really?
that they can
Wow.
participate in our events.
Excellent. You guys are a great organization.
Thank you.
I just found out about you guys not long ago,
Yeah.
but you guys are.
Well, we really appreciate you having us on.
Oh.
We love to get people, let people know us. I know if people aren't runners or don't have runners in their families, they may not know about our organization, but there's a
Exactly.
place for everybody.
Exactly.
Whether you run or don't run. You can volunteer, you can spectate.
Exactly. You can just come and watch and
Right.
cheer everybody on and just hang out, have a
Right.
good time. And from what I understand, the weather should be somewhat favorable this weekend, so you guys are going to have two good days. Should have 2 good days
We
of weather.
should, but we go rain or shine.
Exactly.
Makes no difference.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to. I would assume. Running in the rain is no fun.
Actually, running in the rain is great fun.
It's
It's a cooling mechanism.
all right.
Working in the rain is not so much fun.
Yeah, I know.
But running in the rain is great fun.
No, standing around in the rain is no fun. It's
No.
like cheering somebody on in the pouring rain.
Well,
Nah,
but
no, it's,
we do that for those we love, don't we?
Exactly. Yes, we do. Before we say goodnight, give me a website one more time for you guys.
HartfordMarathon.com.
And people can find a plethora of information on the website. So if they have questions regarding any of the other events, they can just
Yes,
poke
it's
to the
all there.
website. And
And if
there
you're
you
a
go.
Facebook user, it's HMF Events.
Okay. And we've got about 15 seconds left. So in that time, is there anything else you'd like to tell our viewers and listeners?
Write to me, send me an email, tell me where you want to race.
All right.
Tell me where you think our tag is beautiful, or great races and great places.
All right.
Tell me where your great places that you want a great race in.
All right. Well, Beth Sluger from the Hartford Marathon Foundation, I want to thank you for coming down. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Okay, thank you, Pete.
On behalf of Beth, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks. Good night, and we'll see you next week.